Hello, good evening, and welcome to Sidetrack, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. Is there going to be redundancies and even more broken promises at MGM thanks to Amazon? And is there a big project shifting to Amazon instead of MGM Studios that could be a big sign for what may be about to happen to Stargate? Hi guys. You may tell from my tone I'm a little down to have to tell you this news that I'm going to talk to you about today. And I've gone live. I've shot straight home from work. Got my Sidetrack t-shirt on that you can buy at sidetrack.com. There's a link in the description to tell you this as quickly as I could. And this is a story that is happening right now. I'm literally getting messages every couple of minutes. So before I tell you about that, though, guys, please, if you are new to the channel, like, subscribe, with the bell notification, and all that. Also, please consider joining the channel. Hit the join button. Every financial contribution that you guys make helps me to do more work and to spend less time at my day job so that I can get this news to you as quickly as possible. There's a like button and a thanks button, sorry, I should say, on all the videos. You can click that and contribute. And obviously, any super chats that come across, I can all those pennies help me to make more content for you guys. So please help me out best you can so that I can do this more. Basically, if you are a regular Sidetracker, you'll know that I have a few sources that work in and around MGM. This all started back when I first started Sidetrack 9 months ago, where I did a video that actually turned out to be wrong, but did get like nearly 100,000 views. Somebody from MGM, or actually a company that works closely with MGM, emailed me saying this story's wrong, told me why. I started a conversation with them. Through that person, I've now built up a bit of a network of 12 people that either work for MGM or work for companies with MGM. This person originally introduced me to them and has really helped me to get stories to you and to understand what is going on, not just with MGM, but with the wider film industry, and it's been absolutely invaluable. About an hour ago, I got my first message from one of those sources, basically saying that Amazon today, or through MGM, have announced that anybody on short-term contracts with MGM will not be having their contracts renewed. A couple of people since then have emailed me, at least one person I actually talk to regularly, saying that their contract has not been renewed and they've been put on immediate, I think they called it garden leave. This is not something I've ever come across myself. I don't work in the public sector sort of thing. I've worked public sector, so this doesn't exist for my industry. But basically saying that their contract isn't being renewed. They've got 3 months left on this contract, but they're to leave now. And the last message I had off them, just a second, I haven't had anything else off them, but the last message I had off them was basically they had a security guard stood on their shoulder and they were clearing their desk. Sounds very aggressive to me, but apparently this is quite common. They deal with sensitive information and they're not to remove any of it. So they're going to be paid for the last 3 months, but they are leaving now. I've had other messages off there saying that this is something that's happening. A couple of companies that, again, work closely with MGM. One person has said, when I asked them what was happening there, if they'd heard anything that was going on, he's basically said there's nothing obviously there because they don't work directly for, they just have a contract with MGM. But the rumor going around the offices is that that contract will not be renewed when it comes up for tender, but they've got a couple of years left on that, and they do legal and contractual work for MGM. So this has come as not necessarily a shock, but it's making me sad. These people that I speak to have basically become close to, I've been friendly with them. I speak to them 2 or 3 times a week. To know that they're having to go through this does make me a little sad. It breaks my heart a little bit. The one person I've spoken to has already said they knew this would come in. They've already had an offer from another big studio. They're a creative. I won't say too much about them, but they work in the creative side of things. And apparently, a lot of the people that work on the creative side of things, doing CGI work, or get on the computers and do all that business. They're all on reasonably short-term contracts, because depending on what MGM are doing, what projects are going, depends on what skills they need, and that varies. So they don't put these people on permanent contracts. They tend to, the numbers go up and down depending on what they're up to. So he's been thinking about this for a while. He knew his contract probably wouldn't be renewed, so he's already had an offer from another studio. For me, that's great news, because now I've got an insight to that studio. So from a very completely selfish point of view, I go, yay. But from his point of view, this poor sod's going to have to change jobs, and that just sucks. Let me just quickly look at the messages before we crack on. Hi, Shelley. Paul, I'm doing fine until I started getting... I've just had another message. Another person saying that they think their contract isn't being renewed. Now they're saying that they are on a permanent contract, but redundancies are already being discussed, that they're already talking about possible redundancies. But we'll talk about what all this means in a minute. Hey, commoners, how are you doing, sir? Pam, I'm going to talk about that in a minute, because I've got other news that came through last night that puts Stargate in a little bit of an unusual situation. And Andrew, one of my closest, doing a video yesterday, and Andrew messaged me saying, I'm going to have to go to bed because I'm in trouble for getting up at 3 a.m. So I think somebody got in trouble from their wife to come and watch my silly little show. So thank you so much, Andrew, for that. To go on well with this comes on from Stargate, goes on to another story that I've heard. So not only are there now redundancies at MGM, potentially, contracts are definitely not being renewed, which is a very easy way to slim down the workforce. The sources that I'm speaking to are telling me that they believe, and this is only their opinion, so it's rumor, it's opinion, it's not official, but this is, at the end of the day, coming from the employees at MGM, but they believe this is because the work that they will be doing, producing TV, producing movies, will not be done by MGM. They're shifting all of this to Amazon Studios. They've got people there already that do this sort of thing, and they've got people there now, and basically Amazon doesn't want the people, they just want the intellectual properties. So I'm certain not everybody will lose their jobs, but a good chunk of people are going to be losing their jobs at MGM, sadly, which is completely against the promises Amazon were making 6 months ago. I did a video a little while ago saying to you about how the two top executives from MGM left. Abdi, the one of these executives, was the person that a lot of the MGM employees I speak to are most angry at, because it was their name, her name, on all of these memos and emails that were coming through to Amazon, through Amazon to MGM, telling them not to worry, that when the sale went through, this is back when the FTC was still actually looking into the sale and it wasn't 100% certain the sale would be allowed to go through, telling all the employees, don't worry, MGM is going to continue as it is. You're a great studio. We love what you do. We're not going to mess with this. Amazon are going to continue just to be a customer, basically. And we're going to order great television from you, and we're going to work together and create amazing new movies and projects. As soon as those two top executives resigned, pushed out, whatever, or resigned on the principle of the thing because they've been lied to, Amazon changed their tone slightly and said, well, because of COVID, we're afraid we can't do this. We're going to have to make cuts. We're going to have to do this. We're going to have to, it's going to be painful, but who knew COVID was going to happen? I would argue 2 years ago, COVID happened. But anyway, they knew COVID was happening because it was happening when the sale was going through. So I don't understand why these lies were told, except I do understand why these lies were told, because they were told because they wanted to keep the MGM people quiet, keep them happy, not stir up anything while the FTC was still investigating. Another message. Same thing. So the other piece of news that I was told yesterday, which I was going to do a video on, which is again a little bit bittersweet. I hate to say these promises were made before the streaming issues have popped up. Yes and no. The streaming issues, yes, have popped up. But again, I think that was foreseen. And what Chris means here is basically over the last 6 months or so, streaming numbers, new subscribers to streaming channels have slowed, plateaued. The competition from Disney Plus has meant that there's massive growth and taken up a lot of the pool of people willing to pay for streaming services. But also now, because we have a crisis in the cost of living, people are actually looking at, maybe I shouldn't have 3, 4, 5 streaming services. Maybe I should only have 1 or 2. And a lot of streaming services, like the big companies, are actually expecting a decline. Netflix has actually been seeing a definite plateau, but even a decline in numbers, which is the first time it's ever happened in their existence. They've always steadily increased numbers. So yes, I would agree with you that these promises were made before then, but they were foreseen promises. These were things that they knew was almost certainly going to happen. The one person I talked to does work in the marketing side of things, and they say they do work in legal side and contracts and things, but they work in marketing. They look at trends. They've known this for at least 6 months that this was going to happen. So Amazon knew for at least 6 months that this was going to happen, but they continued saying these lies until about 6 weeks ago. So yes and no on there, Chris. So the other piece of news I was told, the other piece of news basically is that, and also you should drop me a super chat every time I say the word basically. I've noticed in videos I say it a lot. I'm going to do a drinking game one of these days where I'll take a shot of something every time I say basically in a video. I promise you I'll be hammered by the end of it. So basically, there's news that 2001: A Space Odyssey is going to be turned into a TV series. There's also talk, potentially, about the Forbidden Planet having the same treatment. Now, this is news, again, I told you a little while ago that there was conversations going on or rumours that this was happening. Those rumours have been sort of like talked about again. But the people, again, at MGM that I talked to have said, though it's not going to be MGM Studios that are going to make that TV series. The conversations about how to move forward with that are happening at Amazon Studios. Now, I know that doesn't seem that important because Amazon owns MGM, but the people that were planning to make that show work at MGM. So they thought that the showrunner, everyone else would be people contracted with MGM. But it's Amazon that are looking at it, and it's Amazon Studios and Amazon executives that are doing it, which is perfectly within their rights. They now own those IPs. Now, I think that's quite exciting. I think, like, I look at things like Westworld. I think that's worked really well. I'm really looking forward to Resident Evil when that comes out soon. Again, it's a big movie franchise. I think can work in a streaming a TV series. And, 10 hours over 10 episodes gives you a lot more chance for character development and things like this. So I think there are certain projects like 2001: Space Odyssey for me that could actually do something really exciting given the budget they get nowadays. And TV show, no one wants it, but yeah, but they're going to do it anyway. The problem is the 2001: Space Odyssey, Chris, always ends up in like the top, when they ever do like surveys and things, it always ends up in the like top 2 or 3 most popular sci-fi shows or sci-fi movies in history. So they're definitely going to do this. And Forbidden Planet always goes up really high in those lists as well. So they're looking at doing this TV series. And like I say, I think it could actually have a really good opportunity there because it gives a lot more character development. Remember, 2001: Space Odyssey is based on a novel. There were 3 sequels, 2010, 2020. So there's a lot of material there to work off. I think those would be like 10-episode miniseries, and I think it would look something like Westworld. The reason why I think 2001, why Amazon want to do that is because they want to do something. It's just somebody else who says they've been given, just literally been told they've got their contract's been reneged and that they're going to be having to go on garden leave as well, that they're having to literally get their stuff together now. That's 2 people I know now that I normally talk to out of 11 that have been told they need to leave immediately. I'm already. I feel the basically thing now I've raised that is going to get thrown in my face a lot. Yeah, 100%. Common as that is 100%. So the main reason why I think they want to make 2001: Space Odyssey is because they want to make something that will get them some like credit. They want to do something that's going to maybe win them a couple of awards. So I think you're going to expect to see something very artistic in design, and they'll spend a lot of money on the music and things like this. They'll probably get quite an A-list star to star in it because, again, it is quite character driven, but it's for big chunks of it, there's only like sort of focused on one person. I think that's going to be something that is very, for me, I'll probably find it quite boring, but they want something that's going to get them some critical acclaim rather than, something that's actually entertaining. Yeah, same old Amazon, same old Amazon. Of course, it's all about the money. That's possible. Let's hope not. Well, they're getting the contract, and it's not just me, and it's like, again, it's a lot of people that aren't just that don't just talk to me. There's they're telling me that it's people that they work with that are getting things, but 2 of them have been told they're on contract leave immediately. So yeah. That Jack, thank you for being a member, sir. I really appreciate it. So that's why I think they're doing 2001: A Space Odyssey. How does that come to Stargate, though? Well, my concern is if Amazon have shifted Stargate into Amazon Studios, or if they've shifted 2001: Space Odyssey, etc., into Amazon Studios, and they're basically cutting MGM out, could they do the same with Stargate? Now, this is completely based on my opinion. I've not been told anything either way about this, but it seems logical. If they do that, does that mean whatever MGM have done up till this point will shift over to Amazon with them? Is Amazon executives going to be contacting Brad Wright and saying, instead of coming into MGM headquarters in Beverly Hills, you're going to come to Amazon headquarters and speak to the Amazon executives instead? Instead of producing this with MGM people, we're going to produce this with Amazon people at Amazon Studios. Again, it doesn't seem to make that much difference because Amazon own it. They can do what they want with it. But it is definitely not what was promised. And Brad Wright's contracts are with MGM, not with Amazon. So, and it's not as simple as just saying, well, Amazon own MGM now, because MGM still exists as a company. It's owned by a parent company. So legally, there are some things there. It seems like they're flying outside the war chains. They're making all the properties Amazon bought. Things make noise. Yeah, 100%, Jack. This is why I'm making these videos and why I'm asking you guys, get out there and share these videos, share this information, because people aren't talking about this. And again, Amazon aren't making redundancies at the moment, so this isn't going to make the news. All they're doing at the moment is cutting and ending contracts. They're allowed to do that, and nobody will care. Nobody in the mainstream media will talk about this at all, even though they're going to slim their contract. They're slim the workforce down, and they're cutting the heart out of MGM as far as I'm concerned. So with Stargate, if it moves over to Amazon, I can see that the Amazon TV people will be involved in that. I don't know if that means Brad Wright is out at this point, but I would suggest possibly. I would suggest that they will start again. And what I think I can tell you is that from the people that were talking to me, says that they were working really hard on Stargate up until about 4 weeks ago. They actually had 2 projects they were working on at one point. They had 2 scripts they were working on. One got scrapped about 8 weeks ago, and they decided to focus on Brad Wright's script. Brad Wright's script was written 3 years ago, and then an update was done about a year ago. And it was that second updated script that they were working on. They'd gone as far as doing some preliminary artwork and things to show executives. This isn't storyboarding and stuff, but it was stuff that they show executives saying, this is what we're envisaging. About 4 weeks ago, early April, when they had these meetings between Amazon and MGM executives, I'm told all work on that stopped immediately. So something was said in one of those meetings that basically meant the project that they were working on just stopped. What that means, we don't know at this point. 2 weeks after that, the MGM executives, the top MGM executives, resigned. So I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to say 2 and 2 equals 4 on this one. That something was decided in those meetings. And I can only go back to, I think, the heart is being ripped out of this. Would love to see Bezos put 1/10 of what he's putting into the Lord of the Rings to get Stargate, 100%. And Jack again, what part appeals to Bezos' vanity, and maybe that'll all get going. Maybe. I think the only way we're going to get something going on Stargate now is if we start yelling about it. And I do think the bring back Stargate, hashtag bring back Stargate, We need to start pushing that again. I think there's a lot of people out there doing really good work for Bring Back Stargate and the 365 days. I don't know how many days in a year. 365 days of Stargate project. Go on Twitter, hashtag that. If we talk about it, we yell about it, Amazon do listen to things like this. But at the moment, Stargate looked like we could actually get something announced by July when the 25th anniversary was released. It looks like now MGM are pushing for the game Timekeepers to be announced, and that will be the sort of big news. They're actually hoping to get Timekeepers released in a beta version, which is a pretty cool looking game, a strategy game where you get to jump between the time frames that we know and love of Stargate, between SG-1 and Stargate Atlantis at the very least. It's a role play game, so you get to move the position. It's not very action packed, but it looks fun, looks interesting. They're hoping to get that released by the anniversary, so that will be probably as much as we get. I think 6 weeks ago, MGM genuinely believed they were going to be allowed to push forward with a few big projects, including Stargate and James Bond, and then Amazon completely pulled the rug from under their feet, and that we're in no man's land again. We don't know where we're going. The Companion did another reading. Yeah, I did. So Brad Access will promote the brand at least. I think Brad Wright for a long time has known that this might be a risk. And I think that's one of the reasons why he shouts and goes on about Stargate on Companion, why a lot of these actors are coming back and doing these Companion AI readings and things to try and keep the momentum going. I think that's why we see things like James Malosey's tweet about the second version of the script, saying, look, it exists. Here's the front copy. Here's the front page. It exists. We were talking about it, where 5 chevrons are encoded for a new Stargate series. Because I don't think Brad Wright is stupid. He knows this industry. He knows this industry very, very well. He knows how it works. He must have had it in the back of his mind that this was a possibility or a probability. And now, so I'm trying to keep you guys involved as well. I'm sure you'll pay attention if thousands of people cancel Prime memberships in protest. Millions? Thousands they wouldn't notice. We got to do something, I think. But the thing is, you don't even have to do that. Amazon listen to social media so much. They will greenlight projects based on social media. Look at The Expanse. There was a social media frenzy. The Expanse got taken from Netflix, and Amazon agreed to take it on. If you're a lover of The Expanse, I would say the same thing, because like I say, I did a video a couple of days ago, guys, talking about how budgets and this streaming service problem has hit a lot of other projects, including things like Babylon 5 with Warner Brothers and The Expanse. They were thinking seriously about doing a spin-off of that show, and now it's been just put on hold, not cancelled. It's like the same with Stargate. It's not dead, but it's going to take longer because of this problem, and it comes down to money. At the end of the day, Amazon, I believe, had no intention of keeping MGM in its current form. They were always going to gut it and just absorb it. Actually, one of the Amazon executives, that's what he called it. He said, we're going to absorb MGM into Amazon Prime and Amazon Studios. All they wanted was the IP. All they wanted was the rights to all these classic movies and TV shows that MGM owns. Things like Rocky, Creed, RoboCop, I think, which is looking like also might be looking for another TV series as well, or a movie. Things like 2001: A Space Odyssey, things like Forbidden Planet, things like Stargate and James Bond. That's all they were interested in. They wanted those rights, and now they've got them. And MGM will basically only be MGM in name. There will actually be no substance. There'll be no buildings. There'll be no it'll just be in name. It'll be slapped on like a badge on a car, and that'll be it. So we'll get to see the line at the start maybe, and then it'll be in association with Amazon Pictures, but really it's just Amazon. That's all it is. All right, guys. So that's the news. It sucks. It really sucks. I'm just so sorry for, again, the people that talk to me. They do it at risk. Apparently there was an email that went around MGM about 3 months ago saying don't talk to websites like SciTrek. it wasn't just me. There was a list of about 10 or 12 YouTube channels that there was, people were told not to talk to. But I was quite pleased with mine. It was my little hobby of a channel got named in that list. I really do. I have to say, I have to put my hands up to you guys and say, so thank you. And I know you're going through so much stress at the moment. And the messages I get are almost constant now. Have been for the last hour and a half, because remember, it's only quarter past 10 in LA. This is literally happening now as I'm talking to you. Even the people that aren't, being put at risk, aren't having redundancies. That's what they're fearing. That's what they think is next. I just feel sorry. It's a sad ending for what a legendary company, Dale. I 100% agree with you. This is one of the big 5 studios. It's MGM, Fox, Paramount, Universal, and Disney. They were the top 5, and Amazon have come in and gutted this company. I mean, a company that were lucky to exist. I mean, they nearly went out a little while ago, but it's just sad. Dave, good evening. How are you, sir? I think I agree with you. See, Chris says it there. Now, this is what everybody said was going to happen. But then Amazon lied. They lied for 6 months to a year. Another one. Saying his job's safe, but 2 people that work on his floor have just been escorted out by security. 2 people on one floor. See, now, how does that make everybody else feel when they see things like that? And Amazon, MGM will say, well, we're not making anybody redundant. We're just relieving contracts. We're just ending contracts, short-term contracts. So, they're not doing anything wrong. Maybe not. And this escorted them out by security. I know that sounds really dramatic, but apparently that happens all the time. Anybody that goes out on garden leave, because they just don't want people to, take the stapler with them and things, which I can understand. Good evening, Wakey. How are you? Trouble is, Amazon do stuff well, but I've never thought TVs produced by Amazon are great. I cannot put my finger on it, but they miss the mark for me. The other thing is, Amazon don't tend to do a lot of projects themselves. It always tends to be in association with one of the big studios. They work a lot with Columbia and companies like that. So now I think that's how it will continue. They'll continue to make those projects, but now they can make the projects. They now have these new rights, so they can make Creed and they can make things like that. To be fair, though, MGM has been doing exactly the same thing. They don't make a lot of material on their own, and they haven't done for a long time. They tend to make projects in association with a company that actually owns a studio, because that's one thing. MGM don't actually own a studio. Their studio that used to be in Carson City, I think in California, they sold it to Sony years ago. They don't actually own a studio themselves. So Amazon really are just transferring what MGM have already been doing into their own offices. It's just that there's a lot of people that work for MGM at the moment that are very talented people that MGM keep going on and on about. We want these talented people, these talented storytellers, and they're just going to be doing what to them? Are they going to keep the building, the MGM building? If it does, it will have MGM on the side of it, but in name only. We don't know. And that's what I feel sorry about. I feel sorry for these people that have, that have this uncertainty at the moment. And that's who I feel sorry for. It's just sad. Anyway, it's rubbish news. I apologize. I have to be again to share this uncertainty at the moment. And I mean, at the end of the day, we want a TV show to come back, but it's actually these people's jobs and these people's livelihoods. I'm just glad that I said that the one person I speak to, he's basically said he's going to walk straight out and walk straight into another job. So great. He's a very talented person. I've seen a lot of his work before, and it's just fantastic. So that's great news. Other people that might not be so lucky. Amazon charges for their service, and on top they charge for their shows. Yeah, they do. I don't know how Amazon get away with it. They have the Prime, and then they have all these sub channels like MGM. In the UK, MGM has a sub channel. You have to pay another £5 a month for it. Amazon Prime is already more expensive than Disney. And look at everything that's on Disney. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not a big fan of Disney as a corporation, as a business. But Disney Plus as a channel is fantastic. As soon as they took on all the Fox stuff as well, and absorb all that. And it's all in one price and one reasonable price. I know they're keeping it. They're basically running on a loss to try to keep up with and try to overtake Netflix, and they'll succeed. But it's an absolutely brilliant platform. Amazon compared is rubbish. It's hard to navigate. You then find something you want to watch and realize it's not on Prime, so you have to pay for it. Or it's on these locked up in these sub channels. I hate Amazon Prime. I don't know why I bother keeping it really. Amazon can do what they want, but they do what they want at the risk of alienate the consumers. 100%. Yeah, it's some MGM and Paramount, even though I don't get access to everything. It's just a Swiss. And it's these people that are getting screwed over though. That's the thing that I can't. John Campbell. So did anyone actually believe that Amazon were going to keep their promises? I never expected to since the merger. I knew MGM was a goner. Yeah, I think I agree with you, John, to be honest, but I didn't want to be cynical. And when they were being told these things, people believed it, I think, because they wanted to believe it, particularly the people I speak to. They wanted to because it's their jobs. So they were hoping that, yeah, Amazon was going to come in and just be an owner, yes, but a consumer, a customer. They were going to buy products off MGM and put it on Amazon Prime. They were going to still be allowed, because it's what they were being told, that you are great storytellers, you're one of the great storytellers in the world, carry on what you're doing. And yeah, we were foolish for believing it. Just had an email, subs up $15.99, Carl. Yeah, I've seen that as well. I get my Netflix free through Sky. Just look at that, get Sky, it's quite good. If you get Sky in the UK, and then you also get Sky Movies, which is quite expensive, but there's a big deal on at the moment. We're getting it quite cheap. You'll be getting Paramount Plus for free on the 22nd as part of Sky Movies. So Paramount Plus in the UK will be available on Sky from the 22nd. So Paramount Plus should be quite good if you're a Trekkie at all. As soon as services become impacting my life, spidey senses start to go off, and I begin to question whether I need it in my life. And that's what a lot of people are doing, and that's why a lot of projects we, are looking at is going to be disappearing. How do you still have an MGM sub-channel as Disney Plus asking more to watch Star Wars and Marvel? Yeah. And that's what I mean. Disney get away with Disney do it, and they do it for free. They do it within thing. But MGM in the UK is a sub-channel that costs $5.99 more or $4.99 more. And it's rubbish. Stargate isn't even on it, which is absolutely rubbish. Stargate for me is on Sky. So I wonder if that will work its way onto Now TV. Let's hope so, Paul, for you guys. Paul's obviously in the UK. So yeah, I'm just disappointed, but I'm sad for the people again that I don't want to read any more of my messages, to be honest. I've just had another one come through. One person saying that they're just worried that they're just seen somebody crying in the reception. They've literally just walked. The one person I speak to, I can't really tell you what they do because it'll identify them, but they know people that are coming and going from the building. He's just said it's sad. He's just literally had to walk past somebody crying in the building. It's just sad. But yeah, this is where we're at the moment. Again, guys, if you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Please share the channel wherever you see. If you like what I do and you want to see me do more of it, I need your money, I'm afraid. I'm sorry, but I just do. The wife won't let me do it else. So please consider joining the channel, becoming a member. And obviously any super chats, things like that, they really help me out. I don't want to read. I just vibrated again. Don't want to read it. And yeah, please get out there and tell this story, because if people don't know, then Amazon are just going to, Amazon are going to do what they want anyway. They will do what they want anyway. And if public opinion starts turning against them, all they will do is they will announce some new big TV show or something, and we won't worry about it. And we'll forget very quickly. Just buy flowers worked for me today. When you got up at 3 o'clock in the morning, I bet it did, Andrew. I love that. I told my wife, I woke my wife up. One of my subscribers woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning to come watch my TV show. How cool is that? My silly little TV show. But anyway, so guys, Jack, do you ever talk about what you do aside from this? I work. Guys, if you want to know anything about me, please. I will more than happily ask questions about that. I can't really because I work in adult social care, so I can't say a great deal. Thank you so much, Paul. Like I say, things like this helps keep the channel going. Really, really, thank you. My name is actually Jamie Walter. So my name is actually Jamie. If you go on Facebook and join the Facebook group, I'm Jamie Rickson, so you can see me on there. I'm the only one that ever adds anything to the channel, so I'm really easy to find. You can also DM me if ever you want to instant message me. You can catch me through there. Just be warned. One person tried to then contact my wife through there, and they got very quickly blocked from the channel. So don't do that. Not that you ever would, because you're not creepy. Up all night, Andrew, again. Yeah. So yes, my name is actually Jamie. But yes, I work in social. I actually have a psychology background, so my background is working in mental health. But now I work in adult social care, so I work with children. Adults with learning disabilities. So that's my main job. I'm trying to go down to 4 days a week, so that I can concentrate at least 1 day a week for everybody here in the UK, and I can do this channel at least solidly 1 day a week. It's not just that; it's to make better content, but also I get stuff out to you quicker. I can't really live off YouTube pennies for adverts. It just doesn't work. So I do need. If I want to go on to, that next level, we need to do that. But I'm not here to beg for money. It's just that if you like what I produce, if you can hit that like button, you can hit that share button, and you can hit that little like button that's on the videos, and you can contribute to the channel, and it helps out. Time for lunch. I'm going to go and make myself some lovely tea. Paul works for the local authority, doing millions. Wish it was mine. Yeah. Sent to the news agencies. Thank you very much, Deanna. Why not? It's just sad. And let's hope somebody picks it up and actually runs with it. I scribe, but may want to push that a bit. Please subscribe, guys. I'm going to go and I'm going to make myself some tea now. I'm a bit depressed. I might crack open a beer. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, like, subscribe, do all that business, like, blah, blah. I will see you all really, really soon. Thanks for watching. Good night, chaps. Oh, I've got to do the thing. I've got to do the... I always forget this. A subscriber, an amazing subscriber, made me an outro, and I keep forgetting to use it. So here we go. Good night, guys.